This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered legal, health, tax, professional advice. We are not responsible for any losses, damages, or liabilities that may arise from the use of this podcast. This podcast is not intended to replace professional medical advice. The views expressed in this podcast may not be those of the host or the management. This podcast may contain adult themes, so parental discretion is advised. Now, today's guest is living proof that rock bottom can be the most sacred ground from which we can rise. At 60 years old, Dallas Collis lost everything: his health, his business, his marriage, even his home. But in the ashes of that collapse, he discovered a deeper purpose. Now he's a life extension trainer and emotional baggage handler. Dallas helps others both navigate their own healing journey with courage and truth. He's the author of The Gift is the Present, and his transformation is as raw as it is inspiring. So welcome, Dallas. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Great to be here.
So would you just tell our listeners about your journey, how, everything started and.
Okay. Let's see if we can begin with an agreement between you and I.
All right.
And that agreement is based on a question. What do we all want out of life? Every person alive, I believe, wants the exact same thing. We want happiness. We want peace of mind, love in our hearts, and just to be worry-free and happy. That's it. Would you agree with that?
I would absolutely agree with you, because at the end of the day, that's all that counts.
So to me, there's 8 billion people searching for that every day. And I think, why aren't we just being it? Why aren't we that? What's in the way? And what's in the way is our story. You have a story about who you are, based on your history and everything you've gone through, what you've learned and heard and been told, and what you've found out creates a narrative that you identify as. And we all do. We meet each other in person and we say, "Hi, nice to meet you. Tell me something about yourself." And we begin telling the person our story. That's who we see ourselves at, is this history we have lived. So like every human being, I think, the beginning of that history is traumatic. Maybe from birth itself. The act of appearing into this physical world has got to be set in fear and insecurity and trauma. Just look at any baby in the first seconds of life, and they look like they're being traumatized. So I really think that probably is the basis to our fear and insecurity that we then are alert to throughout our lives. So when things happen in our childhood, I suffered lots of psychological and physical bullying and abuse. I came out of my childhood knowing I wasn't good enough. I was stupid. I didn't measure up. I didn't belong. I wasn't good enough. And that not good enough is a really common line for, I think, almost every human. At some moments in our lives, we have this narrative that shows up and goes, "Oh, can I do it? Oh, am I good enough? Oh, should I be here? Do I belong?" These sort of things are so universal, I think, to every human being. And I think we all come to our first addiction. And our first addiction is blame. I blame the church. I blame school teachers. I blame the Boy Scouts and summer camp counselors. Then I blame friends. I blame my spouse sometimes. I blame my kids. I blame my boss. I blame the government. I blame the environment. Some people can blame the weather for a lousy day. And some people blame everything all their life. And it's an addiction. I call it an addiction because having been an addict of drugs and alcohol, I know it's trying to keep pain away. So blame is a defensive system that says, oh, I'm not responsible. It's not my fault. They did this to me. They hurt me. They made the mistake. I'm better than them. You know, a superiority will come out of blame. I'm right, you're wrong. I'm good, you're bad. This kind of attitude people fight with throughout their lives. And so when my pain got bad enough, that baggage I carried that was weighing me down, I went to alcohol. I found a partner who was also alcoholic, and we added drugs, and we had a nice business and live in a nice house, and I have cars and vacations and 2 beautiful children. And from the outside, the world would look at us and go, oh, good, successful, stable people. And this is the reality around us all the time. We have no idea what our neighbors are going through. Not really. We think we know them. Often we find out we don't even know our brothers and sisters very well, because everyone is so individual in their story and can be so hidden behind that story. Because when we go out in public, we don't carry our story openly. We put on a mask. I'm going to work, I have my work mask. I go to church, I have my church mask. I go to a party, I have my happy party mask. We play these acting roles based on our story. And so we're rarely giving the true us. And so we rarely see ourselves as the true us. We identify as the story, like an actor in a movie. And the movie is our story. And so for me, it got to a point where the nervous system is overloaded. It can't take any more. And when the mind becomes over polluted like that, it has to express itself. And the easiest way is through the body. And so we get diseases from the mind of years of stress and worry. Suddenly, liver disease pops out, heart disease comes out, obesity, diabetes, all sorts of things are labeled as part of the mind and the stress and the struggle of the story. And for me, I got lucky. I say it's the luckiest day of my life. I woke up July 1st, 2000, 4 months into the pandemic, and I had cancer. This is the best day of my life because it began to throw on the lights. It took me to a place where it's saying, you need to wake up or you're out of here. That's the message I was taking. And then in that 12-month period after that, I go through surgery and treatment. My wife and I break up, split apart. I lose my house, my business, my family in any way conceivable. I wake up alone, broken, alcoholic, and suicidal. Because, my God, my entire story is laying in ashes, burned to the ground. Who am I? I don't even know who I am anymore because that was me, my job, my wife, my kids, my house, my cars. Everything about my life was gone in one fell swoop, 12 months, and it's all over after 60 years. And it's like, I'm lucky, I think, because I had no time to mourn. I had no time to go, oh, poor me. It was like I was just on the Titanic and it went down. I had to jump on a raft and get to shore or it's over. That was it. There was no other choices. There was no sitting with it and trying to figure it out because there was nothing to figure out. It was just a horrible fire that took everything.
Right.
I think it's harder on people when they have one crisis and they have to deal with it over time. That becomes traumatic because they play it deeper and deeper into the psyche. I think when something like this happens, so big, your brain cannot even comprehend. It's gone past. The whole system shuts down and goes, that's not even worth being in. You can't even comprehend it. And so obviously I didn't commit suicide. And I believe what saved me there is the feeling I had was emptiness of there is no reason to live. My whole life is gone. It's nothing but pain to look at. So why stay? What is the value of staying? There was none that I could see. But luckily, I'd had a bout of depression about 6 months before I got cancer. And that bout of depression was this exact same feeling, a complete emptiness. It's hard to even articulate how empty. Like there's no world, no life, no nothing. You just feel completely lost. So when I was really planning suicide, it suddenly hit me. This was the exact same feeling as that depression was. And so lucky for me, I said, oh, this isn't suicide. I'm not really having suicidal ideation. I'm having another bout of depression. And that's going to be gone soon because it went away before. So that stopped me. I got lucky again. I keep getting lucky. A few months later, I finally put down the bottle. And maybe a week after I quit drinking, I woke up one morning and went, wow, I feel a lot better in just a week. Like an amazing difference of having that clarity first thing in the morning I hadn't had for 20 years. Ever, because I was hungover. I was getting a drink in the morning. And then I'm watching a podcast. And a man on the podcast is discussing consciousness and awareness. And he says one line. He says, show me yesterday. I almost fell on the floor. I could not believe what I just heard. Now, lots of people, when I tell them that, they go, oh, big deal. What's that? What do you mean? Show me yesterday. Who cares? Our whole lives are based on yesterday. Our whole entire life, everything we think right now comes from our history, right? From what we learn, from what's behind us, from school, from educators, from bosses, from everything that's gone on in our life. We are history creatures living in the moment. But everything we know came from yesterday. And when this man said, show me yesterday, it made me think, well, yeah, where is yesterday? Like there's no filing cabinet I can go to and pull yesterday out and go, look, Lorna, here's yesterday. What do you think?
Right. It's true.
I can't show you anything. So what is its reality? Its reality is a story that I believed was me. You have beliefs right now, Lorna, that you didn't have 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
And 10 years ago, you believed things that you don't believe now. So what is the truth of belief? And so much of our life is grounded in what we believe. I believed a story so deeply, it almost killed me. I found that stunning. To think that this modern, intelligent, rational human being, we've gone to the moon, we can take people's hearts out and put new ones in. I mean, we're spectacularly clever, but I could believe a story that could kill me. And as I discovered in other people, many people believe stories that kill them every day. A story that makes them sick, a story that makes them suicidal, a story that makes them alcoholic, all for the same reason. The pain in the story, they don't know how to manage. So they use a drug, they use worry, they use anxiety, they use the story of trauma and returning to the pain to try and cope and get through life. And I realize now there's no reason for it. There is none. There's no rule here. I was traumatized 50 years ago. How did it get here today? It was real 50 years ago. It happened. It was a moment. It was an event. It was a physical occurrence. But how did it travel here? No one brought it for me. No one walked behind me with trauma going, I'm coming, I'm bringing it, don't worry, I'm right behind you. How did it get here? I brought it. I'm the one who put that traumatic event into a bag, threw it over my shoulder, and carried it for 50 years. When that came clear to me, I realized the person who traumatized me doesn't get a pass here. I don't have to forgive that. I have to forgive me for carrying it. No one forced me to carry it. I chose to carry it subconsciously. I didn't say I want to be hurt. I want to feel this pain all these years. But I also didn't say I'm responsible for feeling it. And the minute I saw that my story was a belief and that I was responsible for here and now, not the past, it all began to evaporate. It had no power to control me anymore. I had taken back power by being radically responsible. I don't have to forgive anyone. That was years ago. It's the classic water under the bridge. It's behind us. The problem is we live in the past. This is why people lean on their memories so much. We get together socially and we talk about what happened yesterday.
Yes.
What happened 10 years ago.
It's true.
We discuss all sorts of things that are events that occurred. And when we're upset and worried, we're worried about what? The future. Tomorrow. We call it anxiety. We've labeled it as a disorder for people. They're scared and worried about what might happen. Again, an illusion, a creation in our minds. It's not even real, just like the past. But we have been confused and stuck in these two worlds of memory and imagination, instead of the only place we're ever going to be, right here. You and I together right now is life. This is our life happening. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, and it never is.
Yes.
And yet we are so entangled in what I call the trauma of the drama, of the story that we believe we are. And we look around the world, and it is a collective of the story mind that each of us has. If you're living in my country, and I'm your president or prime minister or whatever, your leader, if I can convince you that our neighbors are bad people, if I can convince you they hate you, if I can convince you they're getting guns, they might attack us. We have to defend ourselves. Heck, we have to attack them first before they get us. If I can convince you that that story is true and make you a real believer, you join my army. You go and fight. We have killed 100 million of our brothers and sisters over the last 100 years because we believed a story deeply enough that we will kill. So think of the power of this. The same kind of stories that we'll kill ourselves for in suicide or struggle with disease, break up families and our marriages because of stories and difference and fighting and power. And none of these things are reality. I say to people, 30 seconds after that baby is born, and now it's on its mother's chest, and that baby calms down right away. Look into that baby's face then, and what do you see? What do I see? What does everyone see? We see the same thing. We see love, beauty, peace. That's all we see, happiness.
Right.
My mother died 4 months ago. 2 hours before she died, I looked into her face, and all I saw was the baby's face. Peace, beauty, love. My heart was not sad, it was happy. This was a beautiful life going on in the way it may go on that we know nothing about. But we don't have to be in mourning. We don't have to be grieving. That's a part of a drama and a story. We should see the love and beauty. And when the baby arrives and when my elderly parent leaves, it's the same thing. It's just part of this cycle. And I go deeper and I say, when you look into that baby's face, you don't see the baby's face. You see your heart reflected in the baby's face because you are only made of beauty, love, and happiness. It just gets obscured and covered by a story. And between our birth and our death, we live in this drama. We live as actors on the stage in this incredible drama where we think everything is so important and so crazy in the world, and how do we deal with it? And oh, we've got to struggle and fight. We're playing a part in a movie. We are just love and beauty and happiness for one another. You know, we're 8 billion chefs cooking the same meal, but every dish comes out just a little different. A little different flavor, a little different looking, but we're all doing the same thing. And then the story says, oh, look how different you are. Your skin tone is different than mine. Oh, look how different you are. Your language seems different. And we poke at all these things because it's a drama. A drama, not reality. You are me and I am you. Mm-hmm. That's the beauty of life. You know, you are that gorgeous flower outside. You sit down and you look at this beautiful flower in the sunshine. It's life. The same as you. There's no difference. And all we do is play in this drama of everything's external and it's out there and we should be fearful and we should be worried and we have to succeed and we've got to win. This is all creation. A creation for the little gerbil to run on the wheel and think he's getting somewhere. And you come to the end of life, and what does everyone in their ages say? They all say the same thing. You know, it wasn't so serious. All those things I thought were so big and so troublesome and such crises, they really weren't. All that money I worked for and the things, they really don't mean that much anymore. Everyone comes there. Why? Because they start seeing the reality as they come to the end. It's true. That all this in between, this stuff in the middle we get caught in. It's just stunning. And when you wake up to it, I don't have anything to worry about. I don't have anything to care about. Nothing. Because I'm here. I'm with you right now. It's a beautiful moment. That's life. It's beautiful. And my whole day is like that. Everyone's day is. We just cover it up. You've got nothing to find. You've got something to uncover.
Right.
The beautiful, loving, happy you has always been there. You were born there, you will die there. But in between, it got covered by this story you believe, this drama. Strip away the drama, get off the stage, and holy smokes, life is beautiful.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
I think it's difficult for people to understand it because we've taught people that the world is so complicated, that it's so big and so difficult and so many troubles that we've convinced ourselves it is this big, complicated, scientific, medical, you name it, psychology. And the reality is it's incredibly simple. Your day, I can guarantee, I know your day. We all have the same day. We get up in the morning, we get ourselves together, we get something to eat. We do what we do at our job, or we're retired, or we're going to school. We do the same routines. We live this same day over and over, and that's all we are. But our minds are thinking outside of the day, constantly bombarding us in a storm of what might be and what was and what's going to happen. And oh, what my friend's going to do. And will I measure up? Will I be judged? All invented stuff in our heads.
Right. It's so true.
You and I, right here, right now, aren't thinking about yesterday or tomorrow. We're in attention with each other. That's what life is. And we were all given the secret. We walked into grade 1, and our new teacher walked to the front of the class, and she went, "Attention, class. Attention." What was she doing? She was giving us the secret. Life is in attention. Mm-hmm. When you are in the past or anxious about the future, you're not in attention. You're sleepwalking in those places. You're not awake, because awake is inattention. Then what did the teacher do second? A roll call. Lorna, present.
Yeah.
Dallas, present. And what did the word present mean? I'm right here.
Right here.
Present,
Yes.
conscious, aware, inattention.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are there, it is only today. There is nowhere else to be. You can't live in yesterday or tomorrow. So be present and aware and in attention. And all of the trouble dissolves because you're not playing with it.
Yeah. You know, you said that the suicidal alcoholic version of you had to die before you could live. What part of it still talks to you? What part of it still calls you?
Yeah. Believe me, there's times I still want to have a drink.
Mm-hmm.
There's still times I pull into the grocery store and there's a liquor store right beside it. And I'll go, oh, yeah, and your mind goes, it's the ego, I believe. The devil inside of the back of our head that'll go, oh, remember how great that used to feel?
Yeah, it's calling you.
Just for a second. And I have techniques now. When thoughts arrive like that,
Mm-hmm.
I laugh at them. I laugh at them out loud. And it diminishes them and they disappear. You see, we tend to get a thought like, I'm not good enough. Thought rises in my head. I'm going to a meeting. I might have to speak. Oh, am I going to screw up? And then what we do is we grab the thought. We own it and we go, oh my God, that's me. I could screw up. Oh, I better be careful. Oh my God, this could get worse. And we start spiraling because we're playing with a negative thought. So when I get one now from the past, I look at it and I go, that's hilarious. I laugh at it and it goes away. I don't play with it. I don't spend time with it. It's a cloud passing in a blue sky. Oh, the cloud will be gone in a second. And it does. It's only because we attach to negative thoughts that we play them. We jump on them and say, yeah, that's me. That's who I am. I'm that dummy. I'm that dummy who screws up. Well, boom, you own it, you're in trouble.
Right.
Don't own it. There's no rule that says you have to own it. Laugh at it and go, wow, it's a weird voice that comes up. Not worth me spending time with. On you go, get present, get an attention, and boom, it's gone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, when you lost your wife, your home, your business, and your family, that level of all these things happening to you basically at the same time.
Yeah.
What did grief teach you that no book could ever teach you? That level of grief, what did it teach you that no textbook could teach you?
Yeah. You know, as I said to you earlier, that I think I was lucky that so much of it happened at once.
Mm-hmm.
That I didn't have time to really, I didn't let myself stew in it. It was more like there was a break. You know, something was so broken, there was no way to say, I wish I had this back. How can I fix things? How can I recover? These words that we use, I believe they hold our grief and our pain and our sorrow because we see somehow we might be able to change the past. The illusion is our memory that keeps showing up and making us think it's now, it's us. This is what we're in. And I think because it was such a big break for me, and hearing that man say, show me yesterday, that I realized memory wasn't real. It wasn't, you know, we make up our memory now. You know, 70% of your life you've forgotten right now. You can't remember it. And I think there's a reason we weren't built to remember these things. Our memories were built to learn skills. You can cook a meal because you were taught to cook it. You remembered how, and then it became a skill. When you go to cook that meal now, you don't have to go to a memory. You don't say to yourself, I have to remember what pasta looks like. I have to remember what.
Right, that's true. Yeah.
Because now it's a skill in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Memory is only there to teach you something, and then it goes, it's gone. Well, the trauma, the hurt, the loss of family, the suicidal thoughts, everything instantly was gone because I realized that. I was just lucky, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I keep saying I was lucky because I keep searching for, some sort of magical rule or formula or step process. But I think it's just coming to attention and realizing this is life. I do what I call 16-hour coaching now.
Yes.
And the reason I do it is because I realized my life was one day. Our lives are only ever one day. You can't live 2 days. You can only be in one day.
Right.
So I said to myself when I got up in the morning, when I started to put my life back together, I said, okay, can I take 30 minutes out of today and go for a walk, get some air, feel good? Yeah, I can do that. 30 minutes in one day. Sure, I can do that. Can I take my time and when I go to the fridge to get something to eat, think about the food and eat better and not just pop into my mouth any junk that I wanted, that emotional eating that I used to do? Yeah, I could probably do that and pay attention for a moment. So I went through my life and did this and realized, can I call someone today and tell them I love them? Call a friend and see if they need anything? Yeah, I could do that. Your whole day, your whole life is wrapped up in one day. And like Alcoholics Anonymous saying one day at a time to not drink, I said one day at a time to live right.
Right.
And if I lived my best for one day and was loving and caring and kind and still hardworking and learned to enjoy it, to be happy I get this opportunity of this day, this gift, then I only have to do it one day. I don't have to worry about 10 years from now. It's today. Mm-hmm. And when I wake up in the morning, I get another gift. I get a day. And people say to me, time's running out, you're getting older. I go, really? I've got all day. I've always got all day. They don't end. This is an idea and a story. I'm going to worry about time running out? Are you kidding me? That's crazy talk. And I think we are all crazy in our stories. Mm-hmm. We are fooled to believe these stories. 100 years of personal development, self-improvement, 100 years of psychology and therapy. We've got more coaches than ever before in history trying to help people.
True, that's so true.
We got more people in talk therapy than ever before in history. We got more people on psychoactive drugs than ever before in history. We're doing something wrong. We're not helping people. We're continuing the story. We even tell them to learn to manage your emotions, cope with your life's difficulties. We're keeping them in a story. Why not say, what if your story's a liar? What if that story has been beating you up and you've been believing it? Mm-hmm. What if you can write a new story? What if you're the boss of you and you get to do whatever you want? Mm-hmm. And you get to do it today. And everybody does. I say, Lorna's the most important person on planet Earth. No one comes close. What? That sounds pretty selfish. I don't know. Well, if Lorna wasn't here, would there be a planet Earth? Nope. Not to you. Would you ever experience a hug or someone telling you they love you? Nope, not to you. So how could you not be the most important person alive? And so are the 8 billion other people the most important person alive. And if we all looked at it and said, wow, we are so important just for loving and being happy together, what an incredible world. Mm-hmm. It would change overnight. And it's just one day. It's not something we have to plan over the years. Do it today. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What one question survivors need to ask themselves to truly start over? Survivors of different
Yeah,
traumas. What
I think for me it was the responsibility part.
took
How
responsibility?
how did that trauma get here?
Mm-hmm,
It's not happening right now,
mm-hmm,
right? If your trauma isn't happening right now, well, when did it happen?
mm-hmm,
Yesterday? A week ago? A month ago? A year ago? 10 years ago? How does it get here? If we understand our radical responsibility for what we feel, feelings are ours. And we live in a world that blames and says, no, no, I didn't do this to me. They did this to me. And that's the proof that I'm traumatized by someone. And the traumatic event is just that, an event. It ended when it ended. The trauma that is experienced is what I carried, is what I made me. I looked after it. I replayed it in my mind. I remembered it. I brought it back up. I made it hurt. Nobody else. That is a very hard place for people to go. That level of responsibility to say, it is me. This is who I have made me. In this story, I believe. I don't have to believe it. There is no rule here telling us we've got to do this. There's no rule that says you can't take those bags, those emotional pain and suffering, and put it down. A friend of mine I drank with every day after work for at least 10 years. And he ended up going to the streets and fentanyl and, homeless and the bottom of the bottom. And he latched on to a street ministry. And he found God. And he said, Jesus saved me. And we talk about it together. And both of us realize the same thing. It's not just Jesus saved him or God saved him. A better story saved him. He believed a story that was supportive and loving and kind and a part of a community of people who cared and supported him. And as soon as he did, his mental disorders, his addictions, everything began to vanish. Because he left the story that said he's broken, he's hurt, he's no good. And he went to a story that said he's loved and life is good. And his belief changed everything. So this belief in our story is our pain and suffering. We don't have to believe it. It's just that, a story. We're conditioned from children to believe stories. Our parents read nursery rhymes to us. They read us stories at bedtime, fairy tales. All these things conditioned us to know stories are life. And we become the story. And so we find it very hard to disbelieve this thing is me. How could I pretend it's not me? It's my identity. I said, who needs an identity? For what? I can see you. You're a beautiful human being. We're loving, kind people. What do you need outside of that? What is there outside of that? Only a played up, conditioned imagination. You're going to, the best of you, you're going to be tough. You're going to fight and struggle. You set goals, have dreams, succeed. We tell our kids this throughout their life. People live this out on social media every day, trying to be successful and win, build a business, all these things of achievement. That everything is external says we're not good enough without that. That's the real message. And that's the story we carry is we're not good enough until I achieve, until I get, until I become something better. My highest self, my best life. What is that? It's an absolute scam. It's an advertising system convincing us we're not good enough. That's the real message. And that's a story we believe. There's nothing for you to become. You're already who you are. There's nothing for you to achieve. You already have everything you need. You have love, beauty, and happiness. There isn't anything else. You're not going to die going, I got love, beauty, and happiness, and all this money.
That you can't carry with you. That you can't.
It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. We're fooled in life. Our life has fooled us. But that birth and death is the reality. The entrance and the exit are everything. And then we enter and get on a stage.
Yes.
And we get off the stage at the end and go, what the hell was I doing on stage? And then it's too late. And so that's why I'm here to say, you can get off stage right now. You don't have to wait. You can live that beautiful, loving happiness every single day. People say it's not realistic. I always tell a story, Lorna. Tonight I'm going to go to this hall and speak to 500 people. I walk out on stage and I go, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dallas Collis. I was terribly traumatized as a boy. I went through a lot of pain and struggle. I found alcohol and drugs to medicate and deal with the pain. And my life was just a horror. And it collapsed in cancer and lost my wife and my business, my house, my family. I almost killed myself. But I found some strength. And I'm getting better and I'm working at it. And I'm in therapy and I'm working it out. And I'm dealing with my inner child. And I'm dealing with my trauma. And I'm back on my feet and getting stronger than ever. And the crowd's going, oh, isn't he wonderful? How brave. How wonderful is this? Lorna, tonight I go to speak to a crowd of 500 people. I walk out on stage and I say, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dallas Collis. I have no trauma. I have no worry. I have no fears, no regrets, no concerns. I have no problems in my life. I spend every day happy, healthy, in a beautiful world. I love everyone. I love the world around me. I'm just always a happy person. And that whole crowd goes, what a weirdo. That's the world we live in. If you are broken, if you are sick and broken and have disorder, but you're fighting, oh, you're held up. You're good. We're behind you. We're supportive. If you're healthy, strong, beautiful, happy, and pleased, there's something wrong with you. You're not facing reality. That's the crazy world we're living in.
Yeah.
That makes no sense at all. No rational mind can look at that and go, what are we doing? Social media, I'm on there often because there's a lot of psychological groups and support systems, addiction, cancer, everything. They're supporting each other by doing exactly that. You're so brave. Keep fighting. Be strong. It's constant, and we think it's supportive. We think this somehow is a community of love. It's not. It's a community of keeping it going, of keeping the story alive, of making it real. Why don't we disbelieve? Yes, there's disease. Yes, there's illness. I'm not trying to say it doesn't happen.
Right.
But we don't have to swim in it. We don't have to accept it and say, this is the worst thing in the world. When I arrived at the cancer clinic in the beginning, other people I would meet, some of them were terrified, almost in tears still. And when you get to the cancer clinic, it's usually a few months down the road from being diagnosed. So these people are broken. They have already decided it's over. They've already died in a sense because they fell into the story of the doom, the gloom, the grief, the loss. Their whole life is crumbling. And other people would come in and go, you know, it is what it is. We'll see how it goes. And not give it that weight.
Don't feed it.
That's the ability we have, is not feed the fire of doom and gloom and the hell. Forget it. Don't feed the fire. You don't have to. Yes, it takes some strength. Certainly it does. But it does because the whole world tells us, oh, you have to be strong. Oh, you have to fight. We already have the strength. Everyone alive is so much stronger than they think they are. So much stronger. They can go through incredibly hard times and come out of it. So I just want to share that message that you don't have to be there.
Right,
You don't
right.
have to listen to that story.
Oh, that's beautiful. So, Dallas, our listeners hearing you, they're going to want to know how to get in touch with you. Could you tell us how to get in touch with you? I'll put it in the notes, as well as how to get your book.
Yeah, the email I give is storymindself at gmail.com.
Okay.
Books are on Amazon, easy to find. If you have my name, you can find. We can't hide today, Lorna. If someone has your name, they can find you.
That's true.
Yeah.
Or your telephone number too. People can find it by your telephone.
Well, it's funny. People are so afraid of their privacy. But we remember when we were kids, you could open up a phone book and there was the person's address, phone number, everything.
Exactly.
What are you afraid of?
Oh. Oh, Dallas, we could go on for hours and hours. I thank you so much. I mean, it was awesome speaking to you.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm sure my listeners are gonna take a different approach, because the thing about it, as you correctly say, we're so programmed to this one mind thinking. So, to get a different perspective and one that makes sense, it's something people should really look into. So I thank you again, and for being part of the Modern Titus 2 journey. So, folks, rock bottom isn't the end.
No.
It's the invitation. Keep rising, keep disrupting, and choose the life that feels alive.